the reality of the demography in Africa will shape not just Africa's future, but of course the global growth and the stability in the decades ahead.
If you ask me what are the priorities to really prepare the takeoff of African continent, first it will be education.
Population structure alone isn't enough. Policy, investment, market dynamism.
China's success, it really comes down to a perfect package of three things: demographics, reform, and job creation.
Africa has 1.5 billion people today. 70% are below the age of 30 years. Africa is also the fastest growing population from 1972 to the present. So the issue, that's the dilemma we have to handle. Is it a boom for the future, or is it a challenge? It is clearly both.
A demographic dividend is the potential for faster economic growth when a country's working age population from 15 to 64 grows larger relative to its dependent population, children and the elderly people, resulting from falling birth rates. This demographic shift frees up resources, allowing for increased investment in human capital and productivity, creating a temporary window of opportunity for economic prosperity to support smart policies and job creation. Africa's demographic dividend has problems like slow fertility decline, inadequate job creation, especially in the manufacturing sector, poor education skills mismatch, weak governance, corruption, bureaucracy, insufficient investment in health and infrastructure, power and water, political instability, and loss of conflicts, and heavy reliance on commodity exports. We export commodities and import also. The commodity exports we do are natural resources that we have, all preventing a favorable age structure from translating the economic growth and innovation in Africa.
Africa, as we describe, a young continent in the world, but it's not young by chance. I believe it's by destiny. The reality of the demography in Africa will shape not just Africa's future, but of course the global growth and the stability in the decades ahead. The question is whether we have the right systems, whether in education, in skills, industry, and governance to convert these youth into productivity, innovation, and leadership. Now, we see encouraging examples across the continent. Of course, in some countries are doing some work in that regard. For example, Ethiopia's industrial parks, Rwanda's focus on ICT and services, Kenya's growing digital economy shows how targeted policy can begin to link youth skills with productive opportunities. So these experiences remind us that when structure and strategy align, youth potential can be activated.
If you ask me what are the priorities to really prepare the takeoff of African continent, first it will be education. Education will be the base of giving the expertise to this young population, which is already very savvy in terms of high tech and so on and so forth, to have jobs in infrastructure.
China's own development experience offers a relevant parallel. China transformed its demographic scale into an advantage not by chance, but by aligning skill development with industrial policy, long-term planning, and job creation. Also, including the training is to a talent system that link education, skill development, industry demand, and employment outcomes. We already see promising direction, yes. China has supported vocational institutes, industrial parks. We have the Luban workshop across countries in Africa, and technical cooperation programs across Africa, which has begun aligning skills with high industries like manufacturing, construction, and service industry. The next step is to design this alignment, deepen this alignment, ensuring that skills training correspond directly to real jobs in factories, farms, logistics hubs, and all that we have, especially even the green industries. So when skill development is embedded within production ecosystem, you transition smoothly from learning to earning. My second shift is where we view youth primarily as labor to recognize youth as innovators and entrepreneurs. So what we are seeing is that for the African youth, it's not just about seeking jobs, they're also job creators.
China's demographic dividend success teaches crucial lessons. China's demographic dividend success teaches crucial lessons to Africa. Invest heavily in human capital, in education and health. That's what they have done. They implement market-oriented reforms to free labor, to foster equal opportunities for women, build robust social safety nets, pensions and healthcare for aging population, and strategically shift to higher value industries, demonstrating that population structure alone isn't enough. Policy, investment, market dynamism, also the youth development. What can we learn? Africa can learn from China's focus on infrastructure-led growth, technology transfer, rural revitalization, manufacturing, e-mobility, national pride through language, skills development, their vocational training, scholarships.
China's success, it really comes down to a perfect package of three things: demographics, reform, and job creation. It was about what they did with it. They took that favorable age structure and backed it up with massive reforms that allowed people to actually move into new roles. The World Bank often points out that China didn't just have a demographic dividend. Actually, we captured it. We didn't just build factories, we invested heavily in basic education and public health. At the same time, by pairing infrastructure with a healthy, educated workforce, we ensured that when new industry popped up, there were plenty of people ready and able to do the work. In my own research on industry parks, I've seen very practical ways to make this happen. We have to bridge the gap between schools and companies. This is how we turn a big investment into real local talent. For example, we've seen great results when industry parks and the firms, they team up together with the local vocational schools. They are talking about joint training, designing the curriculum together, and even running training centers right on site. Also, they build career ladders. It is not just about the number of jobs, it is about the quality. We wanted to see workers move from entry-level roles into skilled technician or supervisor positions, management positions. And also supporting the ecosystem, the skill ecosystem, which means helping young entrepreneurs and local small, medium enterprises get their foot in the door through maintenance and supply contracts.
That is a very, kind of something that China and Africa is doing that's different and also very advantageous than what the traditional partners also do. This is a continent that needs more than just sending a couple mosquito nets or vaccines or whatever. It's a place that you can do business, and they need to do. They want to invest in critical and investing in infrastructure, for example, also unlocks opportunities. There are a lot of job creation when it comes to infrastructure development, and Africa-China cooperation has been able to unlock this kind of investment, because for decades Africa had already been crying for investment in critical infrastructure, that we need long-term investment, patient, cheap, long-term investment. That has never been the case, but the involvement of China, that story has been changing. Countries that are working and building on these infrastructures have the space to accommodate these infrastructures, and that will not cripple down the economy, obviously, have an opportunity to create jobs for their youth.